Everyone says younger women are drawn to older men. Maturity, wisdom, and stability just have that natural appeal. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most older men have no idea how to use that advantage. Instead of standing out, they end up pushing women away without even realizing it. You've probably seen it. Men in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, full of potential, yet stuck in a loop of disappointment. It's not because they're lacking something. It's because they keep making the same silent, deadly mistakes. And the worst part? These habits don't just make them less attractive. They erase all the value that should have made them magnetic in the first place. Think about it. When you treat her like a goddess, put her on a pedestal, and second-guess every word you say, what message are you really sending? When you flinch at the age question or lead with your wallet, what do you think she sees? Not confidence, not presence, not the man you truly are. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about stripping away the habits that keep you invisible. You're not auditioning. You're not competing. You are the prize if you can remember how to act like it. So why do so many older men keep failing, even when they should be thriving? Because no one ever tells them the truth. Until now. In this breakdown, we'll uncover the 7 habits that silently sabotage your chances and show you exactly how to flip the script. If you've ever wondered why she lost interest, this might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Number 1, idolizing her. You see her, young, beautiful, full of life, and instantly feel the pressure rise. She's radiant, magnetic, and somewhere deep down, you think, she's out of my league. That thought alone sets off a chain reaction. You begin overcompensating, offering too much attention, filtering your words, avoiding anything that might offend her. You try to be the perfect gentleman, but in doing so, you become safe, predictable, boring. This is where many older men fail. Not because they lack value, but because they act like they do. When you idolize her, you place her on a pedestal and put yourself below. Every word becomes calculated. Every joke is measured. Every silence feels like a risk. You're not connecting. You're performing. And she can feel it. Women don't fall for the man who worships them. They fall for the man who meets them as an equal. When your mindset says, I hope she likes me, instead of, I wonder if we're a good fit, you give away all your power. You start treating the interaction like a test you're desperate to pass. But here's the twist. When you try too hard to win her approval, you lose her respect. The key is to normalize the interaction. Talk to younger women without placing significance on the outcome. When you realize they're just people, flawed, funny, sometimes awkward, you stop projecting fantasy onto them. You stop treating them like trophies to be won. And that's when everything changes. Because the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't freeze, who doesn't inflate her value just because she's young and pretty, that man stands out. He doesn't chase. He connects. He doesn't try to prove himself. He already knows his worth. She's not the prize. The connection is. And if it doesn't happen, there's always someone else. That's the energy that attracts. Not desperation, not perfection, but calm, grounded confidence. Number 2, panicking about the age question. The conversation is flowing. There's laughter, eye contact, a spark. Then suddenly she asks, so how old are you? And just like that, everything changes. His posture stiffens, his voice hesitates. He either blurts out the number too quickly or tries to dodge the question with a nervous joke or abrupt subject change. That confident energy she was drawn to, it disappears. This is where many older men slip, not because of their age, but because of how they react to it. When you act like your age is a problem, you silently tell her it is a problem. Your unease becomes contagious, and what could have been a non-issue suddenly feels like a red flag. The truth is, it's not the number that matters. It's the energy behind it. If you say, I'm 48, with a calm voice, a small grin, and then continue the conversation without missing a beat, you send a completely different message. I'm comfortable with who I am. Are you? Confidence reframes everything. You can even respond playfully. I'm 700 months old, give or take, or with a sly smile. Too old for you, probably trouble. It's not about the line itself. It's about owning your story and showing you're not defined by a number. Because when you show hesitation, she starts to wonder what else you're insecure about. But when you're grounded in who you are, your age becomes part of your strength, not something to explain away. Women aren't scared off by the truth. They're turned off by shame. So don't flinch. Don't shrink. Own it. Your age tells a story of experience, growth, resilience. And if she can't see the value in that, she's simply not your match. The right woman won't care how long you've lived, only how alive you are when you're with her. Number 3, leading with money. He thinks he's impressing her. The luxury car, the expensive dinner, the mention of high-level business meetings and global travel, it's all carefully placed to show success. He picks up the bill without blinking, name drops a few luxury brands, maybe even offers to help with something she mentioned in passing. On the surface, it looks confident, but underneath, it reveals something else. He's leading with money because he doesn't know what else to lead with. This is one of the biggest traps older men fall into. Believing that financial success is the key to winning her over, they put their wealth front and center. But when money becomes the opening line, everything else fades into the background. And while it might capture her attention for a moment, it attracts the wrong kind of attention, the kind that isn't about you at all. When you position yourself as a provider first, she starts to wonder, does he think that's all he has to offer? Instead of building connection, you build a transaction. Instead of being seen as grounded and whole, you become a wallet with a face. The truth is, women, especially those worth your time, aren't impressed by what you can buy. They're drawn to who you are, your energy, your values, your ability to be present, curious, and real. Financial stability is attractive, yes, but only when it's revealed naturally, as part of the bigger picture. So stop advertising your net worth. Let her discover your success over time. Let your lifestyle show through your confidence, not your credit card. Talk about your ideas, not your income. Share your experiences, not your assets. When you stop trying to buy connection, you open the door to something far more valuable, authentic attraction. And when a woman sees that you don't need to prove yourself with possessions, she'll want to know the man behind the money. That's where real chemistry begins. Number 4, acting like a mentor. He means well. He sees a younger woman who's figuring out her career, chasing dreams, navigating life, and he wants to help. So he offers advice. He shares stories from his past. He becomes her guide, her sounding board, her mentor. And while she listens, even appreciates his insights, something critical is missing: chemistry. This is where many older men unknowingly bury their chances. They think, if I prove my value first, if I show her I'm smart, stable, experienced, then she'll see me as someone worth being with. But by the time they finally reveal any romantic interest, it feels out of place, forced, even inappropriate. Why? Because they've already trained her to see them as something else entirely. A teacher, a coach, a father figure. And once you're placed in that box, it's nearly impossible to climb out of it. The problem isn't in being helpful. The problem is hiding behind it, using guidance as a shield for fear of rejection. Thinking emotional safety will lead to intimacy, but it doesn't. It leads to the friend zone, or worse, the respectable older guy zone. Admired? Maybe. Desired? No. Real connection requires polarity, masculine and feminine energy dancing together, not settling into professional distance. That spark can't survive when one side is constantly playing the role of the wise elder. She doesn't want another advisor. She wants someone who makes her heart race a little. Someone who sees her not just as a project, but as a woman. The answer isn't to stop being supportive. It's to balance it. Mix in playful teasing, light flirting, honest compliments. Moments that show romantic energy from the beginning, not weeks later when the mold has already hardened. Because when she senses from the start that you're both emotionally intelligent and attracted to her, she relaxes, she becomes curious. The connection builds with tension and warmth, not lectures and life tips. Don't hide behind your experience. Don't pretend you don't want her just to seem respectful. Be real, be bold. Be the man who can guide, inspire, and still make her smile for no reason. That's the energy she remembers. That's the man she doesn't forget. Number 5, trying too hard to look young. He walks in with ripped jeans, a trendy graphic tee, and sneakers that look like they belong in a high school locker room. His hair is styled to match the latest boy band, and he casually drops slang that feels just a bit off. At first glance, it might seem like he's keeping up with the times, but look closer. And it's clear he's trying to be someone he's not. This is a mistake many older men make. They assume that in order to attract a younger woman, they have to match her world, dress like her peers, speak her language, act like her age. But the harder they try to blend in, the more they stand out in the wrong way. Because it doesn't come across as cool, it comes across as insecure. Younger women aren't drawn to older men because they resemble younger ones. They're drawn to what sets them apart: confidence, presence, experience, stability. When you try to look or act younger than you are, you chip away at those very qualities. You send the message, I'm not okay with who I've become. I need to be someone else to impress you. And that energy, no matter how nice the sneakers, kills attraction. What actually works? Owning your age with style. Wearing clothes that fit well, reflect maturity, and highlight your personality. Carrying yourself with quiet confidence, not forced coolness. Speaking in your own voice, not mimicking someone else's. Being aware of modern trends, sure, but not defined by them. It's not about giving up on looking good. It's about doing it in a way that aligns with who you really are. A well-groomed, sharp-dressed man who's clearly comfortable in his own skin will always turn heads, especially when he's not trying to. Because when you walk into a room with presence, when you don't shrink from your age but let it anchor you, she notices. She senses the difference. And instead of thinking he's trying to keep up, she thinks he doesn't need to. He already knows who he is. And that's the kind of man she remembers. The kind who doesn't compete with the younger crowd. He rises above it. Number 6, bragging about achievements. The conversation starts off well until he begins listing them: the awards he's won, the companies he's built, the people he's met, the degrees, the titles, the accolades. One by one, he lays them out like trophies on a shelf, thinking each one will impress her more than the last. But with every new accomplishment, her interest slowly fades. What he doesn't realize is this: turning the conversation into a resume isn't a showcase of value. It's a mask, a wall, a monologue disguised as connection. Older men often believe that their success stories prove their worth. And while achievements can reflect hard work and character, constantly bringing them up shifts the focus inward. It feels like validation seeking. It feels like performance. And for her, it feels like distance. Because while he's talking about himself, she's wondering when the conversation will turn to them, or even her. Real connection isn't built on status. It's built on presence, shared moments, and emotional engagement. And none of that can happen when one person is too busy narrating their highlight reel. The truth is, confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It shows up in how you listen, how you respond, how you see her, not in how long your LinkedIn profile is. Your achievements? Let them emerge naturally over time as part of the bigger picture of who you are. Let her discover them rather than be overwhelmed by them. And instead of trying to impress her, try being interested in her. Ask better questions. Dig deeper. Be fully there. Because when she feels seen, heard, and valued, not just talked at, she opens up. And suddenly, the connection you were chasing becomes effortless. A man who knows his worth doesn't have to list it. It's already written in how he carries himself. And that kind of quiet strength is far more memorable than any trophy on the shelf. Number 7, neglecting physical appearance. He tells himself it doesn't matter, that what really counts is personality, wisdom, character. And while those things do matter, there's no denying the truth. First impressions are visual. And when he walks into the room looking tired, wearing an outdated shirt, unkempt hair, maybe a little too much around the waist, it all sends one silent but powerful message: I've stopped trying. This is one of the most overlooked mistakes older men make. They rely so heavily on their experience and life accomplishments that they forget the basics: grooming, health, and style. But physical presence isn't just about vanity. It's about energy. It's about showing that you still take pride in yourself. When a man lets himself go, it contradicts everything else he's trying to project. Stability, strength, self-respect. Those things don't shine through when his appearance says the opposite. Because how you treat your body is how the world assumes you treat your life. You don't need to look like a model, but you do need to look like a man who cares. A modern haircut, clean nails, trimmed facial hair, clothes that fit well, classic, not trendy, but still sharp. These details speak volumes before you ever say a word, and it's not just about what's on the surface. Your energy, your posture, your presence, they all shift when you feel strong in your body. Regular exercise, even a few days a week, can change how you walk into a room. A better diet doesn't just slim you down, it clears your mind, sharpens your focus, elevates your mood. Younger women are often drawn to older men because of the calm confidence they exude. But that confidence needs to be supported, not just emotionally, but physically, when you show up looking like the best version of yourself. Not to impress, but because it reflects who you are, you become magnetic. Neglecting your appearance says, "I've given up." Maintaining it says, "I'm still in the game." And that difference is everything. The core message: 7 mistakes. 7 ways older men unknowingly sabotage their chances with younger women. Each one may seem small on its own: idolizing her, dodging the age question, flashing wealth, hiding behind advice, chasing youth, over-talking achievements, or letting their appearance slip. But together, they form a pattern of disconnect, a pattern of fear disguised as effort. And here's the truth that no one says out loud: it's not your age that's holding you back. It's how you respond to it. It's the subtle insecurities, the overcompensation, the trying too hard or not trying at all that create the very outcome you fear. Because younger women aren't looking for a flawless man. They're not looking for a millionaire, a fitness model, or a philosopher in residence. What they're truly drawn to, what cuts through everything, is something far simpler and far more powerful. Core message: younger women are drawn to confidence, authenticity, and presence, not perfection. They want a man who knows himself, who doesn't chase approval, who doesn't pretend to be anything he's not. So stop trying to prove your worth. Stop editing yourself to fit some imagined mold. Instead, embrace who you are, completely. Live with purpose, speak with clarity, show up as the best version of yourself, not for her, but for you. Because the moment you do, everything changes. Not just in dating, but in life. When you become grounded, self-aware, and unapologetically real, the right people will feel it, and they'll be drawn in, not by what you have, but by who you are. So now you know the 7 silent habits that can quietly destroy attraction and the deeper truth behind them. But this isn't the end of the story. In fact, it's just the beginning. Because the moment you become aware of these patterns, you gain the power to change them. This isn't about dating strategy. It's about identity, about choosing to show up in life with confidence, clarity, and intention. So ask yourself, where am I still holding back? Where am I playing small, trying to impress instead of express? The work starts there. Because when you stop trying to be the man you think she wants and start becoming the man you truly are, that's when the right woman will notice. And she won't just be impressed, she'll be inspired. Your next chapter is waiting. The only question is, will you show up for it?